Happy Wednesday morning to everyone. Today is day 8 of our YouVersion Bible reading app plan, Discovering Hope During Catastrophe. We've been this week looking at the question as we've been reading together, what is God's role? What's God's purpose? What is God doing during catastrophes, during pandemics, during global disruptions? And we've looked these last couple of days at specific things that God is doing, and today we get something else, which is just really encouraging, and hopefully it can be hopeful for you today. And the answer of what we see is that there's a work that God's going to do in our hearts and our lives that is so beneficial for us, and it's a work that He can only do when there are catastrophes and pandemics and hard times that we go through in our life. So in verses 1 and 2, we're reminded once again that God's taking care of the main problem, sin, because of our faith in Him. We are justified by faith, not because of the good things we've done, but because we put our faith in what Jesus has done for us. And that's why it says in the verse 2, the thing that we boast in is the hope of the glory of God. We are so thankful, and we proudly proclaim to everyone that it's only God who saves, only God who redeems through His Son Jesus Christ. But not only that, and this is where we can get hope for right now, for today, is that during pandemics, during catastrophes, this is the hope we have. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings. We boast, we praise, we celebrate those things because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. So there's 3 different things that we get to experience that God does in our heart during this time. He builds in us perseverance when we're suffering. He builds up our character when we're suffering. And He instills hope in us to a greater degree when we're suffering. So those 3 things are so important for us as followers of Jesus. The first one being perseverance. Getting through the day-to-day of this pandemic, getting through the day-to-day of the onslaught of negativity that we see on news and social media, getting through the day-to-day of maybe for the first time having your eyes opened to systemic racism and the need as a follower of Jesus to pursue social justice. It can feel very overwhelming. It can feel like a lot. It really can. And so it's so important that we know that because we have God's Spirit inside of us, He gives us the capability and the strength to think and process and move forward with what God has called us to do during this time, even if we feel overwhelmed. The second thing He does is He builds up our character. As we persevere, our character grows. Our integrity grows. Our sensitivity to other people's needs grows. Our compassion and empathy grows. Our love and kindness grows. As we endure hard times, our character grows. James also talks about this idea where he says, you when you face trials of many kinds, rejoice because it refines you like fire refines gold. And so gold comes to its most valuable point of being used after it has gone through intense heat. And it's the same for us as followers of Jesus. When we go through intense heat, intense suffering, we come out even more valuable than we were before because our character, our insides, our hearts has changed for the better. And because of those 2 things, we have reason to be hopeful. We have reason to be hopeful because God is the one who's doing the work. And God then is making us more like His Son Jesus. And that's what we're put here on earth to do, is to reflect the image of Christ to those around us. As we talk about here at CCCH, together we will help people find new life in Jesus Christ. That's what we've been put here for on this planet, is to show people how amazing life with Jesus is and how we reflect the life of Jesus in what we say and what we do. And that happens to a greater degree, a greater value, of greater worth for us internally as well as externally when we go through difficult circumstances. So what's God doing in this pandemic? Well, He is building perseverance. He's building our character. And through that, we can have hope that this is going to be for our internal and external benefit for years and years to come. Thanks for reading with us this morning as we went through Romans chapter 5. If you were encouraged or inspired by this video, click the subscribe button just so you get these every single day so you can give that daily dose of hope and encouragement. As well, love to hear what you are saying about this passage, so feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Have a great rest of your Wednesday morning, church. Love you, and looking forward to gathering together tonight for a time of worship and prayer at 7 p.m. Thanks.